People ask me questions all the time. Some very funny questions, some very personal, some business related, and some that honestly just make me laugh. Somebody just asked me, how many skincare brands don't sign you? And I couldn't just help but laugh. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I answer these questions properly? For my birthday this month, I'm officially launching Thelma's Inner Circle. I'm going to be answering some of the questions I get asked the most about life, motherhood, beauty, business, confidence, relationship, and everything spicy in between. So let's see how this goes. It's your favorite skincare buddy, Thelma Lawson, and welcome to Thelma's Inner Circle. First question is, who is Thelma outside what we saw on TV? Thelma is very ambitious, like you saw on TV. In real life, motherhood comes first. My business, Bellissimo Store by Thelma, my skincare store, of course. Then comes content creation, fun stuff, partying, clubbing. Thelma is just a young mom trying to balance motherhood, business, and life. Yeah. A lot of people mistook my confidence for arrogance. They mistook my quietness for looking down on people, and my boundaries were mistaken for pride. You know, like, and the few times I did try to explain, you know, I only ended up getting misunderstood more. So like, I honestly do not get it. My skincare store started from a makeup brand. So after I finished my WAEC, I actually got a scholarship at House of Tara. I did an Instagram competition and won a makeup scholarship at House of Tara. I'm very grateful for it. And it just opened my eye to a whole world of beauty. I didn't realize people take makeup that seriously and people were making money from it. And like, I've always liked money even as a child, you know. So, and it was just something girly and fun. And then by the time I got admission into the university, I had gotten a lot of clients, loyal clients, and I didn't just want to discontinue them like that. So I started selling makeup products at my self-contained in school. Then I used to do trade fairs in Uniport. And then towards COVID time, I realized there was starting to be more demand on skincare, and that's how I started doing skincare. But one important thing is when I started selling products, I was afraid to use my name Thelma Lawson. Reason because while I waited 2 years to get into the university for JAMB, a lot of my peers had gotten into university, and somehow they just used to throw me about, oh, smart girl like you've not gotten in school with all the first you got and stuff like that. I was actually bullied full time on Facebook, and so I left Facebook and came to start a new life on Instagram. And because of the way they bullied me, there was a lot of negativity about me. I was thinking that if I start a business and use my name Thelma Lawson, if they know it's Thelma that owns the business, they're not going to patronize Thelma. So I now said, let me look for a name that does not sound anything. So I looked up beauty in different languages, and there was Bellissimo, which means beauty in Spanish. So I didn't just want to say beauty store, NG. So I did Bellissimo store, NG. And that's how we got here. But I also got to a point in life where I understood that everybody has different time frames, and I just owned it. And I'm like, you know what? I love my name, Thelma Lawson. They hear the sound. So I came back and I said, Bellissimo store by Thelma. I think that it taught me to stay grounded. Public perception is not exactly reality. You can explain yourself all you want, but if people are committed to misunderstanding you, it doesn't matter whether you talk on TikTok live for 24 hours. The moment you finish explaining yourself, you come off and see that they've turned everything around, you know, to still make you look like the villain. So you just gotta stay grounded. I think my biggest fear going into the house is that I was going to expose a part of my personal life that I honestly haven't even talked about with family. I just knew that this show was going to put me out there. And it did put me out there, because I have people asking questions like, that pikin you get, who be the papa? But like, I was ready before I went into the house. I think that was the only thing that made me, you know, anxious and all of that. But grounded, stay grounded. I think I had the fear of being misunderstood because from past relationships, I could be talking to somebody like A and telling them A, and they don't even understand me as B, C, or D that is close to letter A. They understand what I'm saying as K, something very far away. So by the time you have to explain till you get to letter K, everything has gone haywire. And that was pretty much my experience in the house as well, which is why most of the time I try to keep quiet. But my quietness was still mistaken for looking down on people or as pride. So I don't really get it. Anything you do, people always just have something to say. Leaving my son also was another fear for me. I hadn't been away from him for that long, but I knew it was for like a good cause. And I didn't want to lose control of my narrative. But I lost it at some point because some people did try to push certain narrative, and I do think it worked. But I also think that the people that were committed to truly understanding and seeing Thelma also understood me. So 50-50. Life didn't magically become perfect. I would say it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of consistency. There's so many things you have to keep up with, and it's very easy to give up. But I've always been a very ambitious young girl. I don't give up. Anything my hands touch, they are blessed. Anywhere I step into, favor follows me. And that's been my mindset. So many opportunities have come my way. And as they come my way, I don't let anything slide. Life after the house has been really, really amazing. It requires a certain level of organization because I had a life before the show, that I had business, staff to handle, I have siblings, I have my son, I have domestic staff, I have personal things I want for myself, I have friends I have to connect with, and then BBNaija brings in other attractions like events, so many things. It was difficult creating a balance, but I eventually did create a balance. Being a mother taught me to think beyond myself. I put my son first in everything that I do. If I get money now, I'm like, let me sort out Dawson first before I do anything for myself. Motherhood taught me patience. Motherhood taught me humility. You know, sometimes you think you're God's favorite, but certain things happen to you and you're like, are you really God's favorite? If you're God's favorite, what are the odds that you would have your son and lose your mother on the same day, you know? So that one experience, it humbled me greatly. But I'm grateful for motherhood because motherhood also gave me a lot of financial strength. I used to be a careless spender before I became a mom. But now that I have responsibilities, I calculate things a lot. I calculate how I spend my money because I don't want to get to a situation where my son needs something or there's an emergency, but I can't come through because I've spent money recklessly. So yeah, I think what people get wrong about influencers is that all you need is followers and brands will come for you. Or that all you need is to go to nice restaurants and take pictures, brands will look for you. Or all you need is just nice pictures on your Instagram. Influence goes beyond all of that. If you think Thelma, you think skincare. That's what influence is. If you think Thelma, you think most fashionable. If you think Thelma, you think beauty. That's influence. Like once you think Thelma, there's something that automatically is set in your head about Thelma. That's what real influence looks like. If I mention your name, what's that one thing that will automatically come to my head about you? Is that what's being called an influencer? Because a lot of people are content creators, but I think they mistake it for being an influencer. And whichever path you're on, whether you're an influencer or you're a content creator, my darling, you're doing just fine. You just have to figure out which one is yours. And once you figure out which one is yours, you're on the path to greatness. I will tell Thelma in 2018, 18-year-old Thelma, basically. I'll tell 18-year-old Thelma to take life easy. You don't need to make too many friends. Just one quality friend is enough. Focus on your studies. Focus on your business. But don't get distracted in business that you lose touch with academics. Yeah, that's what I will tell Thelma. Make less friends. Be selfish. You don't have to look out for everybody. You look out for everybody, And when it's their turn, they're only going to look out for themselves and you're going to feel hurt. So be selfish. If you're selfish, you'll get what you want, where you want to get to faster. For me, success today means a happy family, financial ease. My mom always used to say, it's not how far, but how well. And I don't think I really understood it until she passed. I realized that in just 45 years, she had impacted a lot of lives through classes, trainings, in so many different ways. And I think that I'm on that path towards, creating more impact for people that come in contact with me and people around me. So life and success, it just means impact to me. Live an impactful life. That's what a successful life is, an impactful life. So if BBNaija never happened, around this time last year, I'd already gotten my South Korean visa. So it's like, if these people don't invite me, I'm going to go to South Korea. And if I go to South Korea, it's going to be a blast for me. Do you understand? I would have gone to South Korea. If I had gone to South Korea, I would have taking orders, pre-orders. I would have made a lot of money, you guys. I would have made a lot of money. And I'm still looking forward to that trip. I've not been able to go so far because a lot of things have been happening. I'm still trying to create a balance. I want to go on that trip when my mind is balanced, my finance is in a better place, and if I go to South Korea, when my container will enter Nigeria. So better planning. The one thing I would want people to remember about me is that I'm resilient. I'm a fighter. Not fighter in a bad way. Like, I don't give up. I'm very ambitious. I love my son. I have a song with him. I say, mommy loves, and he completes, does sing. So I don't want people to separate me from my son. We are one. I want people to always remember that. Thelma's son is at the forefront of everything before anything else. Very authentic. One of one. Only one Thelma Lawson. We know they too. Yeah, that's what I want people to remember. I think the hardest decision that I've ever made is deciding to have my baby. Like, every time I think about it, like every time I look at the guy, like I'm still so shocked. Like, it was such a difficult decision to make. And I'm just so blessed to be loved at home, because the response I got from my parents, first of all, is the complete opposite of what I expected. Like, if they had given me one negative response, I was ready to throw my life away like this and do whatever I had to do. But they embraced me. They gave me all the love that I needed in this world. And I'll always be grateful to my mom and my dad for coming through for me when I needed them the most emotionally. What motivates me when nobody is watching is that I don't want to be broke. The way my dad raised us, my dad would always say, people don't need to know when you don't have. My dad would always say, be content. My dad would always say, you don't always have to tell people your problem. So I grew up not being able to share a lot of personal struggles. And when you can't share your personal struggles, when you can't tell people that you're having a difficult time financially, you have no choice than to up your hustle, up your work rate, make more money, you understand? And now that I have a son, the two of us cannot be broke. I have to build for him. Do you understand? Like, I have to build for that guy, for that little man. I would say one thing I'm learning about myself is that I don't need everybody's approval. Everybody cannot like me. Still learning to be patient. I have a very short temper. Like, I get irritated easily. One of the things I've had to work on this year is to be more gentle, be patient. Everything doesn't have to be fire for fire. But there's a way you will come for me and I'll give it to you fire for fire without planning it. It's like involuntary. And one of the things that I took seriously in the year 2025 is to be more feminine. I mean, I was the first child, first girl, 4 siblings. Most of the time I was left with the responsibility of handling my other siblings. I remember when my mom was away for NYSC, at the age of like 8, I had to be looking out for my siblings. It's like a baby looking out for other babies. So I had to learn to be strong. And that explains part of who Thelma is right now. You know, I take up every responsibility. I used to hear things like, oh, you should be able to do this thing, you should be able to do that. So I always used to try to be perfect, to do this and to do that, so that, you know, I don't get complaints. But last year, I tried to learn to sit back and just watch how things unfold sometimes. Last year, I had to learn to be more feminine. Like, if you're in a relationship, you don't always have to act like you got it like that, you got it like that, or you don't need money. Oga, I need your money, please do transfer. You know, I have to learn how to politely maybe ask for help. Like, before, I don't know how to ask a man for money. Like, how do I want to tell you that my business is not giving me money and I need money? I cannot tell you. But last year, I learned how to politely ask things in a feminine way that no cannot be an answer. Anything I ask for, it just has to be a yes. And I think I'm improving. People have asked me, Thelma, why don't you start your own skincare line? For some reason, I think I have just decided to, you know, house other brands. And that is what I want to focus on, at least for now. So in 5 years' time, Bellissimo Store by Thelma is going to be Sephora of Nigeria. Every skincare brand you're looking for, you're going to find it at Bellissimo Store by Thelma. I'm going to be an importer, exporter, wholesaler, retailer, everything business, beauty. It's going to be in my hand. In 5 years' time, I'll be 33. Mark today's date. Soft life to me means quality time with my family, quality time with friends that I can actually be my true self around. Soft life means good health to me. Soft life means having urgent, maybe 50 million in your account, so that in case a trip comes up, you and your friends can book business class and fly out. That's soft life now. Soft life to me just means being financially comfortable. Soft life means running a business that even when I'm sleeping, people are still buying on my website. That is soft life. Soft life means even if I'm in Lagos, people are still walking into my Port Harcourt store 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they are buying skincare products. That's soft life. Yes. So that is all the questions. I hope you guys really enjoyed getting to know me. If you have more questions, leave it in the comment section. Make it spicy. And I'll answer all your questions. As always, your favorite girl, Thelma Lawson. If you enjoyed watching me, please subscribe to Thelma's Inner Circle and join my WhatsApp channel, Thelma's Inner Circle. I love you loads. Always. Mwah!